Chapter 71. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the lounge of the Qingyu team, a group of academic bullies were excitedly begging for a fart. Brother Chong, how many times have we won a gold medal? 4th, or 5th? No pressure at all. Hey, I've won too many gold medals. I really want to take a silver medal to try my hand. Hearing these words, Bai Chong didn't say anything but just smiled faintly. The championship they won every year in the provincial exam is enough to go around the playground, and this time was no exception. Qin Luo, I really hope you can give me a surprise. Bai Chong sneered in his heart. Dong dong dong, that the wall clock on the wall made 3 dull sounds. At 10 o'clock in the morning, it was time for the official website to publish the results. Everyone hurriedly pulled out their mobile phones, the official website of the Southwest Digital Association. Shoo! A flash of white light flashed, and the scores of all the contestants appeared on the screen. Beishan City Team, Qin Luo 50 points, Lin Shan 28 points, Wang Jin 29 points. The total score is 156 points. Qingyu City Team, Bai Chong 35 points, Zhou Haiba 30 points. The total score is 153 points. Gongkou City Team, Lin Tao 28 points, Go Xia 25 points. A total of 137 points. How is this possible? Looking at the affiliation on the official website, Bai Chong let out a shocking exclamation. He could hardly believe his eyes. Qin Luo actually scored 50 points. Full marks. And he only got 35 points. His face was swollen and flushed, and his expression was as embarrassing as eating bitter gourd. Just yesterday, he vowed to shout in front of Qin Luo, but only 16 hours later, the cruel reality slapped him heavily. At this moment, he can't wait to find a crack to get in. Impossible, absolutely impossible. Why can he get full marks? Cheating, absolutely cheating. There is no reason to explain it other than cheating. After a short silence, the whole lounge became noisy. Their faces were red and their faces were fierce. They could not wait to tear Qin Luo to pieces. Teacher, what is going on here? Bai Chong turned to look at the leading teacher. He needs an explanation. Behind him, a middle-aged woman in a black professional suit had a gloomy face. Her name is Song Shuiqing. She was the leader of the Chengdu Chongqing City representative team, and she was also one of the special teachers of Qingyu No. 7 Middle School. In the 4 years she took over the competition in the Digital League, Qingyu City has always dominated the No. 1 throne in the Digital League, but today, 4 years later, they lost, and they lost badly. The total score was not much lost, but it was lost to a top student. The theory of the 7 bridges of Königsberg has no results. She said faintly, so the answer to this question is that it does not exist. Königsberg theory of 7 bridges. This is a mathematical problem raised in the 18th century, a small scenic town of Königsberg, where there are 7 bridges. The small island in the river is connected with 2 bridges on the left and right banks of the river. A conundrum circulated among the residents of Königsberg at the time. How could one walk over 7 bridges at once, each bridge only once, and finally return to the starting point? Everyone tried to find the answer to the problem, but no one could solve the problem. The math community agrees that there is no solution to this problem. Bewildered, continued to be bewildered, the top scholars from Qingyu were stunned in place. Bai Chong was even more dumbfounded. He couldn't believe his ears. Song Shuiqing's words were like a bolt from the blue, and it was as if someone had poured a basin of cold water from head to toe, making him numb. Does not exist. Such a rigorous provincial team rematch. The answer to the test question does not exist. Don't say they haven't seen or even heard of it. Thump. Bai Chong was furious, his eyes were black and his feet staggered, and he fell directly to the ground. His face was pale, and his body was shaking like a sieve. He proved it in 13 ways, but the answer was no solution. He knew he lost, and lost horribly. Chapter 72. Knowledge and handsomeness are important. You are listening at novelfull.audio. I rely on, first. Qin Luo, why are you getting full marks again? Take an old driver. The old driver takes me. I want full marks. It's obvious that you can rely on your face to eat, but you have to rely on talent. Huang Zhen said with a full face of resentment. Although they had long guessed that this would happen, when they saw the score, it was still difficult for them to restrain their emotions. Qin Luo is a pervert at all. Brother, you may not believe it when you say it. I don't want to rely on strength at all. Qin Luo shrugged his shoulders and said with a laugh. Everyone was speechless, and their eyes were full of resentment. If they could, they would like to press Qin Luo to the ground and smash the hammer 100 times. Qin Luo, if you do this again, we won't be friends anymore. That's right, he's not good at anything, especially his mouth. All friends. Hearing everyone's ridicule, Qin Luo squinted and looked at the system panel. The Shuaba value didn't even grow by 1 point. These guys, thunder and no rain. Whore. Qin Luo's face instantly turned black. Okay. Just when everyone wanted to continue mocking Qin Luo, Chen Shuqing, who had been smiling and silent, finally spoke. He raised his hands and pressed them down, signaling everyone to be quiet. After everyone was quiet, Chen Shuqing said, "Don't be too happy, the provincial team re-examination is only the first step in a long march. Next, there is the national competition, or IMO. At that time, you are not only facing the top students in the southwestern province, but facing the whole country and the world. That's the stage for you to show yourselves." As he said that, he glanced at Qin Luo intentionally or unintentionally, and said sharply, "Especially you, Qin Luo. Don't think about it all day long. I can tell you responsibly that a man's face can age, and the only thing that can't age is knowledge. Just like me, even if my face is gone, I'm still handsome." Looking at Chen Shuqing's wrinkled face, Qin Luo shivered for no reason. In his heart, he began to seriously consider whether to become a scholar, who is more important to knowledge than to your good looks. Even Qin Luo, who is already a LV4 academic bull, did not fall into deep thought. After the thick smoke of war, it was time to celebrate. Chengdu Chongqing University, Central Auditorium. The big bulls of several provincial digital associations are making generous statements. The routine is still the same, and even the process is similar. After a simple speech, it will enter the awarding session. As the first individual and team double, Qin Luo won the first gold medal without a doubt. Of course, the gold medal must not be pure gold, but the glory it brings is indeed something that money cannot buy. Winning this gold medal means that this year, Qin Luo is the best mathematician in the entire southwest province. Come on, I look forward to your gorgeous bloom on IMO. After that, Feng Huadong explained the gold medal to Qin Luo. With a happy smile on his face, the Southwest Digital Federation Association, a genius like Qin Luo, said that his face is also very bright. Don't worry, it will definitely happen. Qin Luo nodded. Feng Huadong was stunned for a while, then laughed. He reached out and patted Qin Luo on the shoulder and said loudly, "Good boy, I like your self-respecting appearance. You are going to take the college entrance examination this year, right? Are you interested in coming to our Chengdu Chongqing University?" Chapter 73. You are the champion. You are listening at novelfull.audio. What is this? Red Guogua's robbery. Chengdu Chongqing University is the best double first-class university in Southwest Province. Even in the whole of China, it can also be ranked in the top 10, but now, such an excellent university is pulling Qin Luo like a pimp. Has the world changed? Everyone was stunned for a while. Isn't that the solution to a theory of the 7 bridges of Königsberg? Use this? Feng Huadong, is his brain broken? Regardless of everyone's surprised eyes, Feng Huadong looked at Qin Luo again. Student Qin, don't worry, we will make the most perfect training plan for you. You don't have to worry about tuition and meals. All of them will be exempted and there will be additional subsidies. How about 5,000 per month? Feng Huadong said in an orderly manner. Qin Luo is just a piece of rough jade. As long as it is carefully carved, it will become a great thing in the future. If he misses it now, he will regret it for the rest of his life. Quiet, deadly quiet, needles could be heard falling. There were about 40 or 50 people in the entire auditorium, except for Chen Shuqing. All of them opened their mouths, unable to speak for a long time. Tuition is free, 5,000 per month. This is no longer simply pimping, but giving money. Still send big money. What ability does Qin Luo have to make Feng Huadong make such a concession? This kid has made a lot of money. For a while, countless pairs of jealous eyes looked at Qin Luo, but in the next second, everyone's eyes widened. Just listening to Qin Luo's faint smile, he said slowly, "Thank you, Teacher Feng, for your kindness, but I haven't had this idea yet. I want to take the college entrance examination." The college entrance examination, the most important exam in the country, is hell for others, but heaven for Qin Luo, a paradise for earning academic hegemony, refused. The auditorium suddenly exploded. A group of melon-eating audience were completely convinced by Qin Luo. Not only did he get full marks in the provincial exam, but he also rejected Feng Huadong's invitation and the opportunity to enter the top 10 universities in the country. My God, is this a genius? Tsinghua University, if you don't want it, the genius brother is really extraordinary. It's awesome, it's really awesome. Being rejected on the spot, Feng Huadong was stunned for a moment, then laughed heartily. He patted Qin Luo on the shoulder heavily, and said with a big laugh, "It's true that you don't belong to Tsinghua, you should belong to a broader stage. I look forward to your time on the field's medal podium." Field's report desk. Quiet, deadly quiet, needle drops could be heard in the noisy auditorium, and even the sound of breathing had disappeared. Gulu. Someone in the crowd swallowed and their eyes were dull. The podium of the field's medal, the best podium in the world, is on a high stage, and the audience is full of the world's top scholars and scientists. Being able to stand there is a symbol of identity and the pinnacle of academics. What kind of virtue and ability does Qin Luo have to make Feng Huadong comment like this? His words are even more shocking than Qin Luo's previous words. Feng Huadong didn't speak, just smiled faintly. Qin Luo with only eyes, he even had the illusion that even Field's podium would not be his end. "You are the champion from now on," Feng Huadong said loudly. The host successfully won the provincial championship. Ding, the host successfully slapped the scumbag in the face. The task is completed, and the reward is plus 5,000. Ding. The host won the provincial team championship. The task is completed, the reward is plus 10,000, and the ability value-added card is obtained. Host's remaining academic hegemony value, 18,562 points. Ability value-added card, instantly increases the host ability by 2 for 1 hour, in an instant. 15,000 learning hegemony value was recorded, and this learning hegemony value was enough to instantly upgrade him. And that ability value-added card instantly increases the ability to 2 levels. What is that concept? It can make Qin Luo step into the ranks of scientists in an instant. A series of rewards directly made Qin Luo's breathing quicken. Just one provincial exam will make him a lot of money, and then there will be national exams, IMO, college entrance exams, fields. Chapter 74. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The National Mathematics League is scheduled for the weekend. After the relaxation, everyone is ready to go again. This time the national competition is divided into individuals and groups. The first individual, the team will go to the United States to participate in the annual IMO, International Mathematical Olympiad. It is the largest mathematics competition in the world, and it is also the most influential and difficult mathematics competition for middle school students. Anyone who has achieved a place in the competition is the target of the frantic pursuit of major colleges and universities. At 10 o'clock in the morning, a total of 8 people, including Qin Luo, boarded the bus to the airport. After a tense and intense rematch, a total of 8 top players were competed. The group project is participated by the representative team of Beishan No. 4 Middle School. The individual event was participated by Qin Luo and a girl. This girl Qin Luo didn't know, but his grades were terrifyingly high. Except for Qin Luo's accident, the highest score was 38 points, that is to say, he got all the first 2 questions right, and even got a part of the last 7 bridges right. From hundreds of people, to dozens of people, and now less than 10 people. The entire mathematics league is like a big wave to wash the sand. The top students are screened layer by layer, and the best among them is left. At 11 o'clock everyone came to the airport again. With the violent roar of the aircraft engine, the behemoth weighing hundreds of tons flew into the blue sky and headed for a higher stage. Yanjing, the capital of China, a national central city, and a cultural center for renovation, is an ancient capital with a history of more than 3,000 years. After 6 dynasties, it has become the most prosperous city in China. Boom! The engine roared, accompanied by a jolt. The plane landed smoothly. Yanjing International Airport, one of the 3 major gateway complex hubs in China, was built in 1958 and was officially put into use from 22 years to 1980, with an annual throughput of hundreds of millions of passengers. As soon as I got off the plane, the noise of the plane hit my face. The eyes are full of people, and it is roughly estimated that there are tens of thousands of people gathered in the entire waiting hall. Follow me, don't leave, especially you Qin Luo, come to my side. Feng Huadong, Chen Shuqing and other teachers led the team forward one after another, looking at everyone vigilantly. These students are all academic bullies in Southwest Province. No matter who gets lost, they can't afford the responsibility. Qin Luo's mouth couldn't stop twitching. As an academic bully, he was actually being guarded by key points, which made Qin Luo very confused. At the gate of the airport, a bus was already waiting at the gate. There were already many students in the car. They are scholars from all over the country. President Feng, it's been a long time. As soon as he got in the car, a cool laugh came over. Following the voice, I saw a well-dressed middle-aged man walking slowly over. Seeing Lei Ren, Feng Huadong's expression froze for a while, a little ugly, but he still raised the corner of his mouth and said politely, President Song, long time no see, how are you doing? Not bad, I recently dug up a good seedling. The middle-aged man smiled and said, I heard that President Fengfeng has a student named Qin Luo, who proved the 7 bridges theory. I don't know if there is this time. Thing. That's right, that's true. Feng Huadong glanced at him lightly, and sneered, why, President Song is trying to dig people again. Song Qiaodong, president of the Central China Digital Federation Association, has one of the biggest characteristics of him. That is, he likes poaching people all over the country, dedicated to digging those top talents. Chapter 75 Yanjing University. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Poaching people. How is that possible? It's just to prove the 7 bridges theory. There are not many people like this in China. Looking at Feng Huadong's dark face, Song Qiaodong continued, President Feng is not afraid to tell you the truth. My students have already begun to demonstrate Zhou's conjecture. Zhou's conjecture. In a word, Feng Huadong froze in place. With a complicated expression, he looked at Qin Luo behind him, then at Song Qiaodong, and asked tentatively, are you sure it's Zhou's conjecture? Of course. Song Qiaodong smiled wildly and said jokingly, although Zhou's conjecture is not the top problem in the world, it is not something that ordinary people can prove. It is true that Zhou's conjecture is not the top problem in mathematics, but when you start studying Zhou's conjecture in high school, there will be no more than 10 people in the whole country, or even the world, and he has such a genius under him, and this is the capital of his pride. Saying that, he waved to the students behind him. Let me introduce to you, this time the national champion Sun Hua. Song Qiaodong said with a smile, national championship. A group of Southwest school bullies were suddenly furious. You have already reserved the championship before the competition started? Who are you? Teacher, you can't say that, it's not an exam yet. It's so full of words, be careful when you get slapped in the face. I remember that last year, Central China Province only ranked 2nd in the national competition. Facing the ridicule of everyone, Song Qiaodong and Sun Hua looked at each other with smiles in their eyes. They shook their heads and said nothing, slowly backing away. How can a tiger whisper to a sheep? Ignore, completely ignore. It was like a person in a high position ignoring the common people in the market, which immediately made everyone angry. You. Everyone still wanted to talk, but was interrupted by Feng Huadong waving his hand. No need to be angry, anyway, the national competition is about to start, and then it's time to see the real chapter. While speaking, Feng Huadong looked at Song Qiaodong and said with a smile, keep going, maybe you will see another scene at the end. Zhou's conjecture has been proved by Qin Luo. Even if the latecomers make more efforts, even if they get away with it, it will be futile. In academic matters, people will always remember only two people, one is the proposer of the problem and the other is the prover of the problem. However, Qin Luo is undoubtedly the latter. He is the one who will be remembered. In such a tense atmosphere, the bus started slowly. Its goal is very clear. The highest institution in China, Yanjing University. The National Mathematical Union competition, held once a year, is hosted by Yanjing and Huaqin University. Today, it is Yanjing University's turn to be the host. The bus was moving very fast. Almost half an hour later, the bus had stopped steadily in front of Yanjing University. As soon as I stepped out of the car door, a heavy historical atmosphere rushed towards my face. The first thing I saw when I looked up was a blue plaque with 4 gilt characters Yanjing University written on it, which was vigorous and powerful. Passing through the gate and entering the campus, the eyes are full of students. Yanjing University in November is the most beautiful season in the world. The golden ginkgo leaves are like a carpet, covering the entire boulevard. Being in it is like traveling back in time and space, back to the startup period of Yanjing University decades ago. Chapter 76, 100 Choices. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Following Feng Huadong, everyone found their room. In order to facilitate the competition, the school did not arrange a hotel, but vacated several dormitories for everyone to use. First, it was for safety reasons, and secondly, it was easy to manage. 5-1 Qin Luo's room. Everyone was looking at this historic school curiously. Look at that girl, is a little pretty. That girl has a really good figure and really white legs. Wow, this is not bad. Gong Qin leaned against the window sill, staring unblinkingly at the stream of people passing by downstairs. Every time a good-looking young lady passed by, he would exclaim for a while. Hee, I suddenly asked you a question. Qin Luo took his eyes away from the young lady and then fell on everyone. Shuaba, please tell me. For a while, everyone looked at Qin Luo curiously. If there are 2 more women standing in front of you now, one with a 100% appearance and one with a 100% figure, which one would you choose? Qin Luo asked with a squinting smile. 2 women, 1 looks and 1 figure. Isn't there 100% for both? Gong Yi asked. No. Everyone suddenly fell into hard thinking, and even Chen Shuqing began to think about it. The question raised by Qin Luo was far more tangled than the chicken and egg question. Lin Shanshan blinked and looked at Qin Luo curiously. She was very curious about what choice Qin Luo would make. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, everyone was still frowning. It's like fish and bear's paw, you want both, but you can't have both. Seeing everyone's frowning faces, Qin Luo's heart was already blooming with joy. Cough cough. He cleared his throat and said seriously, you have been thinking about it for so long, what do these 2 women have to do with you? Crowd. Just as Qin Luo's voice fell, everyone's faces turned gloomy. Even Chen Shuqing's face darkened. They knew that they had been tricked by Qin Luo. Boss, I'm afraid I won't be able to be friends with you anymore. Break up. Hello boss, goodbye boss. The scumbags are furious, but the experience points of the tyrants are rising rapidly. Ding, the host's knowledge is astounding, and the mastery value is plus 17. Ding, the incompetence and rage of the scumbags are detected, and the mastery value is plus 35. Nearly 50 points of academic hegemony, although not much, but talking is better than doing. School scumbags keep going. Okay, our Beishan No. 4 middle school has entered the national competition for the first time in so many years. Let's have a good meal tonight. I invite you to have a big meal at the Yanjing Hotel. Chen Shuqing waved his hand and smiled. Public or self-funded? Chen Shuqing's face darkened, he glared at Qin Luo angrily, and said, everyone else is paying for it, but you are paying for it yourself. Teacher, it's not good to do this. Brother, you can't be so biased. I'm a teacher, take care of me. Xiao Xiener, fight with me, still can't cure you. Chen Shuqing raised his head, his face full of pride. Of course, Qin Luo still followed in the end. The reason was very simple. When everyone went downstairs, they met Feng Huadong. after Feng Huadong heard about the dinner party, he was very willing to help Qin Luo with the meal money. Chapter 77 Looking up at the starry sky always calms me down. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yanjing Hotel is not a very high-end hotel in Yanjing City, but it is one of the most famous hotels. The reason is very simple. On the one hand, its price is close to the people. On the other hand, it has a secret dish, shi. Meatballs attract diners from all over the world to taste. It was almost evening, and the lobby of the Yanjing Hotel was already full of seats. Qin Luo and the others found a naked foot by the window and were anxiously waiting for the food to be served. It was the first official meeting of the national competition team, and everyone was very excited. Even Huang Zhen, who had always been reticent, opened his chat box and kept telling interesting things about the class, and Qin Luo just looked up at the sky and his eyes were unusually calm. I said, Qin Luo, why are you so calm? Looking at Qin Luo's expression, Feng Huadong couldn't help laughing. All the other students should laugh and cry, but only Qin Luo, who is just like a normal person, has no fluctuations at all. He was very worried that Qin Luo had a psychological problem. Looking up at the starry sky always calms me down. Qin Luo shrugged his shoulders and said lightly, looking at the stars. Looking at the big sun outside the window, everyone hated it. At this time, the starry sky from the hammer. Do you think your eyes can see through? Can you see outer space through clouds? Find me a star and come out and have a look. The sun is essentially a star. Blackening, completely blackening, everyone's face is far darker than the bottom of the black pot. Don't they know that the sun is a star? But is that what they mean? If they can't wait to beat Qin Luo's mother with one fist. Sishi balls, welcome to taste. At this time, Qin Luo's food was delivered, golden balls, with green cabbage. The smell is fragrant. Qin Luo raised his eyebrows and said quickly, everyone, eat quickly. After all, he took the lead to pick up the chopsticks and put a ball for himself. Well, that's really good. If you can get the recipe for this meatball, you can't imagine how good your restaurant business will be. If only I could know the formula. Qin Luo sighed faintly. I advise you to get rid of this idea as soon as possible, because it is impossible to achieve. Feng Huadong said, Sishi balls, this is the secret dish of Yanjing Hotel. People who want to get his recipe are like Crucian carp crossing the river, but no one has succeeded until now, even, for publicity, Qin Yu, the owner of Yanjing Hotel. There is also a reward for someone who can take away 100,000 as long as someone can accurately tell the secret recipe. Countless famous chefs have smashed the Sishi balls. What chance does Qin Luo have? What if it comes true? Don't be in case, because there is no case. Feng Huadong refused politely. Qin Luo didn't give up. As a scholar with a system, how could he say no? He took out his mobile phone and searched for Huaxia recipe to Quan. Qin Luo began to read the book. Seeing this scene, Feng Huadong smiled helplessly. If Yanjing Hotel's unique secret recipe could be easily cracked, but he didn't stop him. He really wanted to see how Qin Luo was hit. Ding! The host is serious about studying, and the mastery value is +1. The host's cooking level is increased by LV2. Encyclopedia of Chinese Recipes, Advanced Cooking, Encyclopedia of Northern Cuisines. Chapter 78 Cooking Level LV4. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After several books in a row, Qin Luo's cooking skills improved rapidly. Congratulations to the host's increase in cooking level to LV4, top chef. The host's sense of taste and smell has been greatly improved. LV4. Qin Luo put away his mobile phone contentedly, then waved to the waiter behind him, and said, "Give me a glass of white water, and give me a pair of knives and forks." White water. The waiter was stunned. Immediately, he realized that this high school student-like person in front of him wanted to decrypt the recipe like many famous chefs, but how old is he? It seems that she is definitely not more than 20 years old, and it is impossible to think about it. Hold on. Damn it, Qin Luo, you won't be playing for real, will you? Seeing the back of the waiter leaving, everyone was stunned. They thought Qin Luo was just playing, but they never expected that he was actually playing. This is really a food tasting. Have you seen me tell lies? That if you think about it, it doesn't seem to be there. However, this is not the same as the question-based exam. In the exam, you can rely on your talent and hard work to complete the leap from a scumbag to a scholar in a short period of time, but this is cooking, an art that pays attention to experience. Even if you are a genius, can you compare to those chefs who have been immersed in cooking for decades? Even if they haven't decrypted it, Qin Luo may be able to figure it out. Boss, if you really figure it out, I'll give you tea every day. I'll give you a cigarette. I'll help you polish your shoes. First, little classmate, the knife and fork and white water you want. Soon the waiter came over with a complete set of equipment. Originally, he wanted to be called Mr., but looking at Qin Luo's tender face, he swallowed the words that came to his mouth. Classmates are classmates, why add a small one? But in the spirit of learning from the gods, Qin Luo still smiled and said thank you. Everyone was speechless again. President Feng, it's a coincidence that you are eating here too? Suddenly, a hearty voice came from behind everyone, and everyone turned to look at Song Qiaodong and a group of people walking slowly over. The people who should come don't come, but the people who shouldn't come come. Feng Huadong's face darkens. Huh, what a coincidence. Feng Huadong sneered. Listening to Feng Huadong's unkindness, Song Qiaodong's face was as usual, and the corner of his mouth raised slightly. His eyes swept across everyone, and finally stopped on Qin Luo's body, to be precise, on the set of appliances in front of him: white water, knives and forks, a clean dinner plate. As a Yanjing native who works in central China, he naturally knows the meaning of this set of tools. He is trying to taste the 4 happiness balls. Thinking of this, a smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. Student, what are you? It's just what you think. Qin Luo responded coldly. Song Qiaodong only felt dark in front of him, and was almost choked by Qin Luo's breath. Wouldn't this guy speak well? Can you speak? Shut up if you can't speak. Seeing his teacher being attacked, the students behind Song Qiaodong suddenly rioted. You said every word I said, sparring with each other, and went straight to Qin Luo. In this regard, Qin Luo just smiled lightly and didn't care at all. Humph, I just want to see what you are capable of. With a wave of his hand, Song Qiaodong snorted coldly, found a seat not far from Qin Luo and sat down, staring straight at him. Chapter 79: A Grass Worth 100,000. You are listening at novelfull.audio. He wants to see if a high school student can make a difference. As a top chef with a cooking level of LV4, my ability will scare you away. Qin Luo picked up the knife and fork, slowly cut it open, then picked up one of the pieces and took a bite. Song Qiaodong's eyes swept across Qin Luo's face. Seeing that his expression was still the same, the sneer on his face became more intense. Pretend. The taste buds stimulated by the seasoning and the fresh aroma of the food overflowed in Qin Luo's mouth. At this moment, he is completely immersed in a feast of taste: onions, ginger, garlic, eggs, oil consumption. The names of various ingredients appeared in Qin Luo's mind like a slideshow. What just puzzled Qin Luo was that these were just the most common ingredients, well-known ingredients, and could never be a secret recipe. There should be something else. Qin Luo picked up a ball again and put it in his mouth. Suddenly, the name of a Chinese medicine appeared in Qin Luo's mind. Licorice. No wonder there is a sweetness different from white sugar in the balls. It turns out that it is licorice. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes. Qin Luo is still immersed in the feast of taste. He never saw Feng Huadong's face getting darker and darker, nor did he see Song Qiaodong's unbridled laughter on his face. Just when the two of them were about to explode, Qin Luo suddenly opened his eyes. It's done, get it? Is it solved? It's about recognizing the reality. Suddenly, everyone's eyes were focused on Qin Luo, and they were curious and disdainful. Qin Luo waved to the waiter behind him and smiled. Give this piece of paper to your boss. Saying that, he took out a pen and paper from his pocket and drew the grass. This is the answer. Feng Huadong would even think Qin Luo was mentally ill if he hadn't confirmed that Qin Luo had no problem with his brain. Wait. The waiter simply responded and turned away. Hee, classmate, you don't think that drawing a grass is the solution, right? Song Xiaodong said with a sneer, mad, if you draw a single grass, you can take away 100,000. His teacher is no good. He draws grass every day, painting 100 or 1,000. It won't be long before he is richer than a certain cloud. Mr. Song, this grass is not ordinary grass, but a grass worth 100,000 yuan. Qin Luo shrugged his shoulders and said with a smile, once again. Song Xiaodong was stunned by Qin Luo's words. Feng Huadong's face turned red, not because he was angry, but because he was funny. Qin Luo's mouth is too poisonous, but he likes it very much. You, Song Xiaodong gave Qin Luo a vicious look and didn't speak, but the chill in his eyes was growing stronger and stronger. I'd rather see how you end, he sneered inwardly. It didn't take long for everyone to wait, and the waiter quickly walked over with a middle-aged man. Who painted this painting? The middle-aged man glanced at everyone and asked. The show is about to begin. Song Xiaodong's eyes flashed with a hint of banter. Me. Qin Luo raised his hand and said, although he had long known that the person who solved the secret recipe was young, Liang Bo was still shocked when he saw Qin Luo's tender face. This dish has been stumped by top chefs from all over the world, but now it has been cracked by a person who looks like a high school student. After a long while, Liang Bo reacted. He hurriedly took out a check from his pocket and sent it to Qin Luo. Classmate, this is what you deserve. Liang Bo said with a smile, dumbfounded, completely dumbfounded, whether it is the teammates of the Southwest team or the enemies of the Central China team, they are all stunned in place like wooden men. Qin Luo actually solved the mystery and solved the secret recipe that stumped the top chefs. Damn, how is this possible? Song Xiaodong's eyes darkened and he almost fainted. Once upon a time, he was still eagerly waiting for the opening of the good show. The good show did start, but the result was very different from what he imagined. Qin Luo not only did not make a joke, but also shocked everyone's attention. What the hell is going on? Just draw a broken grass to solve the mystery and get 100,000. Fuck, what the hell is going on here? Don't ask me, I feel like I'm dreaming. This is what the Central China team said. Maid, there are really geniuses in this world. Boss, as expected of a boss, the kitchen below the hall. Give the boss tea. Shine the shoes of the boss. Tea, shoe shine. Congrats to the host for the adoration of the scumbags. The academic master value plus 111.